welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle. How are you doing today?
I'm doing much better as a Union fan.
Yeah, I mean, 2 wins this past week. We got a lot to discuss today. I mean, there was a lot of good out of this week, you would say, heading into League's Cup. Now that that's upon us here.
Yeah, definitely some things to be positive about. Um, hey, two wins in a row at home that were sorely needed and two hat tricks in a row. So we'll be getting
Yeah.
into that and some other exciting things that have happened. So yeah.
Yeah, so like I said on today's show, we're just gonna recap the week it was. We'll try not to go over an hour and bore you guys, but we're gonna have some fun today and celebrate a good week for the Union.
I feel joy again.
Okay, let's calm it down a little bit.
Hey,
It's only two
listen,
wins.
I know. I know.
But anyway, before we get started, what are we wearing today?
Okay, so I thought it was, pretty obvious choice today. I am wearing my Andre Blake uh MLS bootleg t-shirt because Andre is back.
And I am wearing the Larimer Dupe t-shirt. You know, we haven't been there in a while, but I thought I'd support local businesses, especially in Chester.
Yeah, I wonder how they've been doing since Union Yards opened. And have any of you guys listening
Yeah.
been over there like after a game or anything? Let us know. We used to always go over there after the games, but we haven't really been as much, so
Yeah, we need to get back over there before the end of the season. But before we dive into this, where can people interact and follow us?
you can find us on all your major podcasting platforms, and we're on social media at Twitter at TOTWAG, on Instagram and Facebook at The One Team We Agree On, our website, theoneteamweagreeon.com, our YouTube page is at The One Team We Agree On, and find us, interact with us on Twitter at our individual handles as well. I'm at silly double underscore Jilly, and Kyle is at Coach Albany.
Yeah, so let's dive into it. All right. First off, let's talk about just recap a little bit about Wednesday's 5-1 win over New England. We were there for that game.
Yeah.
Let's dive into it a little bit, shall we?
Yeah. So this was, oh gosh, coming into this, it's like this is you got to win this with
Mhm.
New England missing so many players.
Yeah, what was it like 10 or 11
There
players?
and
It was a lot.
yeah, with between that and all the Union having on their injury list was Isaiah LaFleur, who's
Yep.
basically out the whole season. But to see that was the only one that was missing due to injury. So, and Jim had said in the press conference the day before that Andre was back, and of course, the excitement surrounding the other announcement that he made of who was going to be
Hmm.
in the 20, which was of course Cavan Sullivan.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a lot of excitement going into this game.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. You know, what was Cavan gonna make an appearance? Was he gonna start? You know, we had heard some things in Toronto, which Jim said, you know, he was gonna travel with the team. So what was that gonna look like? And there was just a buzz in the atmosphere that night, for sure. But before we get into the game itself a little bit, let's talk a little bit about the giveaway. I know that they had the bracelet. What was it?
Yeah, so I have it on.
Yeah,
So they had it's like friendship bracelets, it's like a Taylor
yeah,
Swift thing, of course. And they say Philadelphia Union, and then the other one is Coors because it's sponsored by Coors. So they were supposedly for 21 and older because of
yeah.
that. But yes, let's give away bracelets that little kids will probably like, but they say Coors. Just like last year, I think it was last year that they had the headbands
Mhm.
they were sponsored by Coors, and like the tie ones, which I got that, but like I don't know, like I like the friendship bracelets here. They're nice. I guess, but yeah, the Coors part I'm not thrilled about. Number one, Coors is like drinking water.
It
Um,
really is drinkable. No
yeah,
discernible taste.
yeah, I mean, it's not even as good of a cooking beer. I mean, Miller Lite's best for a beer
That's
can
just
chicken.
cooking beer.
But so I thought maybe I'll use some white out or something and turn the R into like maybe a K so it looks like cooks then or something. I don't know, just
Um,
you know. But
Leave a
whatever.
comment. What should Jillian do with the bracelet? We'd
Yeah.
love to hear from you.
Because not only like do I not really care for wearing um, an a beer related thing, but it's a crappy beer at that. So just saying. Anyway, but whatever. I appreciate the bracelets. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then just share a little bit here. We got some things we want to look at here. We did go in the team store.
Yes.
Did real quick just to look at a few things. We saw the new Live Breathe Football
The
Union varsity jacket.
yeah.
And it's nice. Okay, so here's the front of it. It has Philadelphia Union on the other side, has a supporter shield. And then on the back, I really like that
Mhm.
logo.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's very, heavy kind of jacket. It's what you would it's, if you've ever had like a varsity jacket at high school or something, that's what it is. It's like that, but
Yeah.
it's really nice, but it's also $300.
Yeah, and that's not nice. $300 for that jacket. Yeah, sorry. That's a hard pass.
I mean, we paid like $100 for your button up
Yeah.
bomber jacket, which we like, but um I love the design on it. It's really well made. I mean, I think it looks great. I'm just not ready to shell out $300.
No.
Now, I did say, I think on social media that I think the design of it, like the back of it, would make such a great shirt. Like
I
I
agree
would
with that.
buy that in a heartbeat,
I
you know?
I would too. I mean, if they did that as a t-shirt in that color with like the light blue around
Yeah,
the
with like
neck,
the font and
and
everything.
maybe even like the tan cream colored like sleeves, that'd be a nice t-shirt, even a long sleeve.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would definitely buy that. And then we saw this. This is a nice little
Like
like
denim shirts.
yeah, it just said Philadelphia Union 2010, fight for Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice symbol, but again, it was what was it like $80 or
Yeah, I mean
something?
it's Wild Collective, which I have several things from Wild Collective and I really like them. Like they're generally like well made. Like if you get t-shirts from them,
Yeah.
like they're nice quality. It's not just like a Gildan shirt or something, but it's nice um if you're willing to spend that money. Pro tip, okay, because I have a lot of merch and some of it I've gotten from the team store, but a lot of it I haven't. I've gotten online at like the MLS store,
Yep.
Fanatics, or wherever. Wait till they have like their 25% off sales and stuff.
So
We
that
got some merch coming for next time we record,
oh
I think. So,
we
and there it is. I bought this.
yes, 40% off.
So, yeah, so this shirt that looking at here, if, in case you're only listening, it is kind of a cream color shirt that has it says Philadelphia Union, established 2010, and says fight for Philly, and it's got like the kind of photographic kind of quality snake on it. And this is one we'd said before in the pod we really liked. Well, it was like $50, I think, in the team store.
Mhm.
And I went online yesterday on Fanatics and they had it was marked down to like 29.99 on Fanatics. And
Yeah.
so and it was like $5 shipping. So it was still less. I think it was marked down was it marked down
It
at
was a little
a little
bit.
bit, but still I got it for
Their
cheaper.
biggest thing was like it says here, 40% off all
That's scarves.
scarves. Yeah.
They sell on scarves, and they actually had some things that were on sale, like the that really nice, like kind of white and light blue, um, sweatshirt, that hoodie that came out the beginning of the season. I want to say I don't know if it was Wild Collective or who did it, but it has like the distressed look, and I really liked it. And they had like one left in the team store, and it was like originally $130, and I think it was down to like 90. And I really thought about it, and then you're like, you have enough hoodies.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is true. I really love my light blue live breathe football one anyway. That thing's so comfy. So
So, all
yeah,
right. So, you were in the
I was in the
stands
stands.
and I was in the press box. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, before we get to that, I did have a question for the pod.
Okay.
So we do have one question already for tonight. We
We have a
actually
few
reached
questions.
out
Yeah.
earlier and asked if you had questions. Thank you again for those who did ask. So here,
So we had a few on Twitter too.
yes, we do. For Jillian, this is from Todd Lewis.
Oh,
Todd wants to know the union were running 40% off all union t-shirts. Would you have spent all my money?
your money.
Yes, that's what I said. Would you have spent Kyle's money?
It's not, well, it's my money. I'm the breadwinner. Just kidding.
Wow. All right.
No,
So,
if they were running 40%, I wouldn't spend all the money, but uh I'd probably definitely buy some things.
there you go.
Yeah, there's definitely some things in there that I would buy 40% off. I
Oh yeah, if it was 40% off, I might get some stuff. I don't know about Team Store. I'd probably do it again on
I always like to look online. Now there's
yeah.
sometimes things that you can only get in the team store that I can't find online.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I've been looking at some of these independent businesses that have been running like t-shirts and all that,
Mhm.
like not Rally House, but like some of these websites, the guys that are just creating artwork for the
Yeah.
union that I think are a lot better than Fanatic and
Yeah.
some of that. So
Well, I do look and shout out to MLS Bootlegs
yeah.
because I have a whole bunch of their stuff and so I think you know, I probably might end up getting like one more or so of them.
So let's go back to the pictures a little bit. So this was a view from the press box before the game. Yeah. So we had a nice view up there. It was a nice the joke of the mat night was it going to storm?
Yeah, because it rained earlier at home
Yep.
and it was looking like it was going to storm and that was going to storm around game time. And it somehow we got through the whole game unscathed. I mean, it rained.
Yeah.
It rained for a good amount of time, but at times it was like really light, but then there were times where it was coming down pretty good. But it was
Mhm.
also hot out, so it wasn't like one of those nights where we were freezing and raining. And all of us up there were like, forget ponchos or anything. This feels good because we were hot. And we're like,
Yeah.
this actually feels good. I was happy to get rained on and but we didn't get any thunder or lightning, which was key. So it didn't really start kind of raining till I'd say like halfway through.
Yeah, like right after the half.
Yeah. So
And then there is the March out and
I
then
know the river end looks so empty there, but it
yeah.
did fill in a little
Yeah,
more.
and
So
then there's starting um
the
11.
yeah, the cheers to be had when Andre came back
Yeah.
on. Oh, everyone was so happy for Andre to be back on there and just like the excitement alone from that. And of course, yes, there was all the buzz of, oh, is Cavan going to get in? But seeing him warming up on the field and everything, of course, everyone's watching. So,
Yeah, that was the funny thing. Like, MLS was in the press box.
oh, it was like a media
I mean,
circus.
you had people with cameras in his face while he was warming up. It was interesting to say the least.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I think his debut, while, you know, we'll get to in a second. I mean, the night was really all about Ty Baribo.
Yes, it was. I mean, how cool has it been to see Ty finally not only get in the starting lineup and get playing time that everyone was wondering if you'd ever get, but here he goes and has a hat trick, 6 goals in 6 starts.
Yeah, I mean that's incredible, and credit to him for sticking out. Jim said
Hmm.
multiple times. You had asked him on Friday prior to the Nashville game too,
Yeah.
and he said like, never asked for a trade, just kept his head down, and he even said to you like, "Hey, look, if Ty we're seeing now was a Ty early in the season, we would have found minutes for him." And I know a
Hmm.
lot of people have questioned Jim on that.
Right.
And rightfully so. I mean, if this is what we're seeing, yeah, I mean, okay, really, where was Ty at? Because we
Yeah.
saw him at spurts, towards the end of the year last year. We saw him once or twice. He didn't look like he was ready.
Right.
Then he was getting injured, so that delayed his start, right?
Yeah.
And then occasionally he come on, you'd be like, okay, he looks like he's still figuring it out. But now you're seeing the pressing. He's
Hmm.
tracking back. And I tweeted after, I think it was the second goal, like, if this is really who we sold Julian,
Hmm.
which we're not going to replace,
Right.
but if this is the next best thing and we got coming up, okay, I'll take it. And,
Yeah.
and maybe you feel listening right now like that's a wild statement, but really, like, who else are we going to get at this point? I mean, uh, Chris Donovan. I mean, come on. The truth of the matter is, yes, while maybe he's not Julian Carranza at this moment, you never know, but that's also going to be very hard,
It's hard to
That's
replace Julian
it's
Carranza.
very hard to replace Julian for many reasons, but at the same time, I mean, his work rate, I just have been very impressed with him.
Yeah.
And last on Wednesday, I mean, gets that first goal,
Hmm.
and then you know the second goal was a great play by him and Mikel, which we've talked
Oh, I
about.
loved watching the buildup of that one.
That was a great build, and the great thing with that one was everybody says Mikel flops, and okay, let's be honest,
I
he
mean,
does. He
yeah, I
got a
mean,
yellow on
he got a
Saturday
yellow. Yeah,
and that was a flop.
it was.
But to his credit, Mikel's got a guy dragging him on his shirt, and he powers him
Yeah,
off,
that was
beats the
impressive.
guy, and then finds Ty right there, for the goal. I mean, that was a beautiful play. And then, of course, the other thing after that in the first half too that was really, really impressive was Jake Glesnes,
Yes,
getting that header. He's had such an up and down season. To see him kind of keep his cool and just get himself
he needed that.
in the goal column this year. Congratulations to him. That was good to see.
Yeah, after some of the defensive struggles and just things, it was really great to see him get a goal.
Absolutely.
And and as Todd Lewis said on his podcast on Free Kick, I mean, blunder of the week with Apple missing his
Oh,
goal.
yeah, because I was like, even like that was a nice play, and I was like, Todd, can you clip? Because sometimes Todd helps us out, with
Yeah.
clipping stuff. And I was like, and he's like, text me, he goes, yeah, they missed that. I'm
I
like,
mean, it
what?
happened so quick, but how has Apple still not figured out with all the technology there is how to do like say a cutaway view or something, a picture in picture. They always like yeah, they'll like have the camera on like the coach or when players make and there's like action going on and you miss like plays and
Right.
build up. Like
It,
it
it's
feels like this
it's not
happens.
it's not been the greatest at all. I mean, you hoped in
Hmm.
year two they take the leap, and they kind of just been status quo. They've had some bells and
Hmm.
whistles, which okay, that's nice, but the actual game presentation has not been up to par.
Yeah, I mean the video quality and everything's great. Like that's such a step up. But yeah, there's more they can do.
You can see a raccoon's butt from
And we
it.
did.
And we did. But anyway, and then Ty getting his hat trick. And probably the coolest night, and let's get to Cavan's
Yeah.
get to his debut. Um,
Well, before Cavan came on, so yeah, you want to talk about it?
you want to go for it?
Okay. So, I mean, I said, well, first of all, before we get to that, okay, the fact is, okay, so the Union got scored on,
Yeah, I mean,
and
Ian Harks.
yeah, I mean, there wasn't much Andre could do about
No,
that.
that was a nice goal.
But it was awesome. The fact that right after that, took
Yeah,
the
well,
ball down and scored, answered right back. And that's what's been missing. You've seen this team get scored on and just get like psyched out. And like then quickly another goal goes against them or something.
and,
We've seen it
and
happen
Jim
so many
talked about that,
times.
and for me personally, I thought that was like I looked at, I think it was Scholar. I was just turned to him and I was like, that was nice.
Yeah.
Um, or maybe it's Jose, I forget. But it was just really nice to see the Union respond to like that,
Yes.
because after all these games where oh my gosh, like Toronto, like Chicago, were up
Hmm.
like 3-1, we're like, oh, here we go again. Just see him come back down, put another goal, Ty gets his hat trick, and then you're like, okay,
Yeah.
now we're gonna cruise.
Yeah. And at that point yeah, I think it was either when it was 3-1 or 4-1, I turned to our friend Jane that's up there in the press in the river end with me and I said, well, I said, I think if they're up like they get like one more goal, I think absolutely Cavan's going in if they have that much of a cushion.
So we had a whole discussion up there. Shout out to Skylar. He said 85th minute. Me and Jose were kind of like, 88, 89. I'm thinking like 90th.
Hmm.
Jim puts them
I
on
think a
for
lot
a
of people
run
that
off
way
for
to
like
see.
three
Yeah.
minutes. But sure enough, so round the 85th minute, here comes Quinn, his brother, gets this nice open lane, fires it in the back of net. Place erupts because there's
Yeah.
Quinn's
It
goal.
was a banger and it would go on to be goal of the match week.
Yeah. And the coolest part just watching that
Yes.
was you see the goal. I'm going down to type, and all of a sudden, we'll get to your view
Hmm.
vantage point.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I see Kevin run over and like hug him, and I go down to type a tweet, and all of a sudden I hear this roar, and all of a sudden I look up, and of course, here comes Kevin running right down the pitch. All the cameras following him, and this place is just electric. So,
Hmm.
we clipped stuff on our Twitter page, and I think I shared some on Instagram as well.
Yep. I
Kind of
posted my
Kevin
videos.
Casey's introduction of him,
Hmm.
place erupted, and just everything was like that's when you're just like, all right, they're gonna run this out last 10 minutes of the game and see Kevin play.
Yeah.
And the coolest part for us was there were some whispers going around, hey, they're gonna do a press conference, they're gonna do this, and we're like,
Hmm.
all right, cool. Some people had asked
Yeah.
us, hey, if they do a press conference, Kevin, would you be interested? Sure. And so I thought for me, just seeing that view when he got that shot, the place almost erupted.
Yeah.
Anytime he got the ball, there was a couple times him and his brother were trying to link up. It was fun. It was a
Yeah.
fun last 10 minutes where you got to see this 14-year-old run around the pitch. You get to see him do some moves. Yeah, he's still got a lot. And as Jim said in his end of his press conference, he's still 14.
Yeah.
But it was fun to see that. Will we see more? Maybe. But Jim, I thought to his credit, was saying, hey, he earned it. This was planned. He kept saying this was planned.
Hmm.
Okay. But anyway, to your vantage point, what was the atmosphere like in your end?
Okay. So it just was this bit of like every time that the Union scored, I mean, it just felt like a little bit more and more relief. It's like a weight was being lifted. And first goal happens and we're going nuts. Second goal happens, which was like it was almost like a you look down and you look up and bam, it was a goal. And and we're just like going crazy. And then I know like when the third goal happens, it was just pure jubilation because it's like here it is, up that, and it's like holy crap. Like Jane and we're all like hugging and stuff. Everyone is like high fives aren't. It's like the most joy we felt there in so long. And and I hadn't been in the River End for a little bit because I missed the Red Bull game, and of course that was scoreless, and like
Hmm.
all other games were just like losses and stuff. So it was just like, oh my gosh, joy again. And just it was nuts when the hat trick happened, and of course like and we're getting rain, and we're like we don't care, we're having fun,
Hmm.
like, and we're like this is the most fun we've had in a really long time. And when Quinn scored, just you know what it felt like? It felt like 2022 when it was those games where
Don't say those
no,
years.
no, no, just the games that were just kept piling on the goals, and it just you just feel like, oh my God, not the dread like crap, we're gonna blow this lead or something. No,
Right.
no, it felt like, okay, we're in the driver's seat here. And but watching from where we were and seeing Quinn go over and take, we're like, oh, that's a big slide.
It
And
was.
and you see Cavan and him hug, and then Cavan gets up and he takes the penny off and runs over, and of course the place is going nuts.
Hmm.
And of course some of us are like, well, I mean, this is exciting. Also, he's 14. Um, but this is awesome, why not? And so when Cavan was in, one thing that we noticed too was like had really good awareness on the field. He
Yeah,
had really good awareness, like where to go, where to send the ball. Like that was really good. I mean, he has, he's still a kid. He's still got
for
lots to
for
learn,
14-year-old, yes, he had
but
good awareness.
he had very
Plenty.
good awareness on there. And seeing him passing with Quinn, there was some really good stuff going on there. But of course, when Cavan, and I got video of this from my vantage point, I posted it on Twitter. When Cavan got the ball and he's going out, he goes down and takes his shot and everything. I have like video of all that. It was a nice shot, but in 136, everyone's chanting like, he's a child. He's a child. And it's like, because like they're getting their butts kicked by a child, basically.
Yeah.
It's not a criticism on Cavan. It's just like saying, yeah, he's a child and he's just dribbling around you people. So,
So
yeah,
yeah, so afterwards, you guys were hanging out.
yeah.
They announced that with the Union win, it's $5 dogfish
$5 dogfish heads
heads.
at Union
So
Yard. We finally
anytime
got to
you
find out.
win, you get $5 dogfish heads. Okay.
Yeah.
So I went down to the presser. It was packed. They were bringing in TVs and cameras like MLS. They were like, yeah, this is going to be streamed live at MLS on the Apple TV.
Yeah.
So bringing in all this stuff. Took forever.
Yeah.
Finally, Jim comes in, gives us, a pre-match. And then I asked Jim, and let's backtrack because it
Mhm.
got lost in the moment.
You forgot somebody that you got to talk about.
Yeah, we got to talk about Kai Wagner real quick. So
Yes.
Kai, at halftime, was announced that with his two assists in that first half, two beautiful assists, by
Yeah.
the way, he would he's like has 30 assists now in 3 seasons. He would add a third, making I think it's like second or third time he's had three assists games. I think it's second
So you
time.
had a,
Yeah.
yeah,
But anyway,
hat trick of assists.
so he ended up the game with 31 assists in
Hmm.
3 seasons. I mean, that's incredible. So I did ask Jim. I'm like, hey Jim, what are you seeing? What's Cavan doing? Um,
And Kai.
I mean, yeah, Cavan. Yeah, we are
You had
talking about
Kevin on the
Cavan
brain.
so much. No, we got Cavan on the brain. No, I said, look, as a defender, talk about how difficult that is
Right.
because, for a player to do that, that's pretty impressive. So here's what Jim had to say. We'll roll that clip real quick here.
Look, for a left back to contribute as much as he does on the offensive side is impressive. We all know about his service off of dead balls, right? But now, when he has a striker that moved like Ty did tonight, he can pick them out, and he did a really good job of that. Also picked out Jacob pretty good on one of the free kicks as well. So Ty's service is really, or Kai's service is really dangerous. And it's great for not only a top defensive left back, also to contribute with the amount of assists he does in getting forward. He's one of our best, chance creators, probably our best chance creator when Jack McGlynn's not on the field.
So he brings up something really interesting there, and I'm going to switch to this picture guy. But he
Hmm.
says he's the best chance creator outside Jack McGlynn when Jack's not on the field.
Right.
He also talks about him being a great defender. Talks about the set pieces, which
Hmm.
you're at 15 set pieces right now in the
Yeah.
season. That's pretty good considering in 2022, let's bring it up, they had 16 set pieces. So put that into context.
Goals from set pieces. We're
Yes, correct. Sorry.
talking about.
Thank you. But again, just really good praise there
Hmm.
for Kai. And of course, we'll get to your interview with him here in a second.
Hmm.
But I mean, at the end of the night, after that, then they said, "Hey, do you want to go talk to the players, or do you want to stick around for the Kevin interview?" Well, again, I'm like, I kind of want to go talk because I'm sure Ty's going to be there. Maybe
Hmm.
Andre's there. I want to go talk. Of course, during the press conference, they were interviewing the players, so we decided to sneak back in and watch Kevin's interview, which was streamed live, and it was cool to hear him talk about some of the things growing up, some of his was
Hmm.
an MLS welcome to MLS moment. But just some questions. I mean, again, he's 14, really. What's he gonna say that he hasn't even already said in interviews or not? But it was a cool moment just to be in that room. Um, and then after that, we headed out, met you back at Union Yards.
Yeah.
We got to
Yeah.
uh
Let me talk about Union Yards. Yeah.
yeah, I mean the atmosphere was nice. You guys are sitting out there at the fire pit.
Yeah. So I was hanging out with some people at Union Yards, and yeah, we got the $5 dogfish head. And I think it probably would have been way busier, probably if it wasn't a Wednesday night and
Right.
had been rainy and everything. But yeah, of course, the vibes were great though. And yeah, finally finding out what it was like for a win, and just chilling at the fire pit. And shout out to Ashley Rice because we were talking to her.
Yeah.
Um, the our wonderful national anthem singer, of course. And but yeah, hanging out there and just
We
felt joy.
Yeah, we did. It was nice. Jose and I walked out. We hung out for a little bit, and we then got to talk to Bross a little bit about the BR's getting his little hoodie signed by all the players. And that was
Yeah.
kind of cool. He walked right up to us. He's like, "Hey guys, I gotta tell you about this."
Yeah.
And then Kyle the baby walks over and he's like, "Hey Kyle, did Bross tell you?" I'm like, "Yeah, he told me." He's like, "Yeah, that's really cool." So that's kind of cool. BR's getting her hoodie signed by
Yeah.
all the players. So
Yes.
that's really cool.
Thanks. I know Cavan already signed BR's hoodie and stuff. So
And then he was just sharing some information with Jose and I and you about
yes.
just kind of what was going on. So it was good to hear their perspective
Yeah.
on some things. And there's a lot to that. I don't
We're
think
not getting into all that. I mean,
no.
everyone's heard, all the
Everybody's heard
protest stuff,
everything, and
and there was no like official protests going on for Sons of Ben on Wednesday or Saturday, but people were welcome to do their own thing, and some people did. But
we'll get to that a little bit. So we had heard some rumblings about, new players signing.
yes.
And next day, lo and behold, it is announced
Mm-hmm.
to everybody's surprise. Union did bring on a player. They brought on former St. Louis City striker.
Sam Adeniran.
Yeah. Again, this is a Corey Burke role.
Yeah, very much.
This is like when you see it and you watched him play. Now, Todd brought up a really good point. Like, you've heard some people say he's had a checkered past at St. Louis. He's had 10 teams in 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want. You had asked some St. Louis City fans in a couple of your group chats.
Yeah.
And what'd they say?
They said, yeah, there were some issues, but also they had some good things to say about his play too. But apparently there was, well, with the coach, there was some strife, if you will. So
there was things in his work ethic, but hey, we saw him on Saturday. I'll tell you what, the guy, he makes that one play on Joe Wills, almost costs up the ball because of his pressure. I mean, he was running on, he was creating, he had some shots. Probably has a shot he'd probably like to have back. But as Jim said, 10 minutes when you're up 3-0, you want those goals when they're 1-0.
Yeah. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here a little bit. But just really quick question for you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Just from the small sample size, though, would you rather have Sam come on or Chris Donovan?
I'd rather have Sam at this point. Even though he had a million games at in USL, don't really care. Look, he's had success, and I think Jim brought that up on Friday's press conference as well. He scored some goals. Even I think not this year, but last year. What was it like? He had 8 goals in 20 games. I mean, that's a small sample size. So
I mean, is this like some huge signing? No, but it's a step in the right direction. Is
it reinforcements?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a whole reinforcement.
I know it's a small loan because his contract's up at the end of the year.
I mean,
he wants to go to Europe. I get that.
So he might not be around, after the season, but I definitely rather see him come off the bench than having Chris Donovan there or having Quinn play up at striker.
You have a little bit more versatility. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Rather than having Quinn play up,
because we're going to talk about Saturday's game and how that played out. But yeah.
So you went down to practice on Friday.
Yes.
And we reached out, interviewed Kai because you and I wanted to ask him some questions coming off of his performance on Wednesday. So
so I viewed training first, so I got to see Sam in action a bit because he was there. But so I was watching I was watching training. They were practicing some set pieces, and here's a picture of Kai. He was taking a corner kick, and so it was cool to see that as well.
So the first clip I want to share with you is on the 31 assists.
Just really proud of myself when you see where I'm coming from third league in Germany to accomplish such a big accomplishment. It just means a lot to me, helps me a lot. I know I was just reading I need 2 more assists and I passed Sebastian with 2. So I mean that season is still a lot of games left for me. I want to accomplish that this season. That just makes me really proud.
So it talks about how he's really proud. And right, you would be proud. He's proud of what he's accomplished. And he brings up an interesting point. He's just 2 more assists away from surpassing Sebastian the 2. I mean, somebody can fact check it, but that's...
I looked on the stats on the Union's website. And that's correct.
I did too, but sometimes you have those times.
But that was
I found an error or 2 once.
Wow. But I know, I thought that was cool that Kai brought that up.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully he'll get those assists soon. I think with the games that off, obviously, I guess is that for MLS play or is that for everything? Because that's my question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if League Cup would count or not. That's my question.
I think it's MLS play.
I think it's probably for MLS play. But anyway, I would be surprised if he doesn't get those, in a few games. Of course,
Yeah.
he didn't get any assists in the Nashville game, but of course the whole time I'm watching the game, I'm like, come on, Kai, get that assist, get his assist. And I'd said to him too, off the record about that. But anyway, so.
And then the other, we had asked him a couple other questions, but the other one that really stood out was about having Andre back and the importance, because, again, since Andre's been back, and we'll count the Nashville game. Now, again, it's Nashville and it's New England. Two not good teams. We'll see when they go up against some of the better teams. But
the last two teams we had beaten, by the way.
yeah, we'll see what happens. But at the same time, I mean, the Union have scored 8 goals and conceded 1. So I wanted to know, like, how big of a difference is it?
Of course, I mean, Andre's talking a lot, helps the backline to communicate also a little bit more. I always say it was not easy for the other two goalkeepers because there was a stretch where we didn't play good. I mean, the last couple of seasons, if the other goalie would step in, it would be easier for them too. So it's not just about Andre, but I think it was a big boost to come into the team.
Yeah, and as a defender, having 3 keepers in net this season, is it more difficult for the defense to have that much switching of keepers?
Of course, it's always also I don't like it when we switch also the backline a lot because we can't get used to the different players and stuff like this. But this happens with the many amount of games, also with Andre's absence now. But I think both goalies did often also still a really good job. I mean, we also didn't make it easy for them, the whole team. But I mean, they had to step in. It's a little bit unfair for them sometimes too, especially I would say for Ollie. Come down from the USL team and makes a couple of great saves. Has a couple of smaller mistakes, but he's not normally used to. But just for overall, I'm still proud of them, and yeah, still happy that Andre's played now. Of course, I mean.
All right, so that is all the clips we have for today. But he brings up a good point about like Andre, as we all know, is captain of that defense. And really calling the plays, setting up the formation, making sure everything's there. So when he's not there and then you have the experience, that's what we said. Rick, Semla, they're young. They're new to that team and managing them.
Yeah.
So, but he also, I brought up a point, he hates when they switch formations.
Yeah, I was
like, oh, so you don't like 3 in the back, huh?
Yeah.
Tell us you should have followed up there and been like, so how you feel about 3 in the back?
Yes.
But no, I mean, brought up a lot of good points that they didn't play good in the season. They probably didn't help them out as best they could.
Yeah.
But also, that Andre is that calming force. And Jim brought it up too. It's like, he is our superstar. Like, what he does. And we've said all along, like, there have been games where, like, yeah, Andre saves that goal.
Yeah.
And there's probably, I would say, I think Todd brought this up, or maybe we brought it up about the drop points. Remember, I think that was the last episode we talked about the drop points.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of those games. And again, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but there's a couple of those games. And comment below if you feel this. You could probably gotten a point. Maybe you've gotten 3 points out of it that maybe where we're sitting now, maybe we're a little bit higher. Maybe we're in the playoff, 8th, 7th. It just.
Well, yeah.
But we can't look at that now. I mean, the table is what the table is.
Yeah. So, and I talked to Kai about a few other things, but you can see, I have an article on the theoneteamweagreeon.com. And so I have a whole write-up about it as well as some other things. But there's more clips on there and more content. And it's really about not only the interview, but just the value Kai has brought to the team, why re-signing him was really important because think about how much upheaval there's been in the lineup this season, especially in the defense, just the lack of consistency and the formation changes, but also, you have the rotating center backs in there and, Nate and Olivier, and just, of course, the goalkeeping situation. So really the one constant has been Kai.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that has been just a workhorse. And Jim has said how much, how hard he works and all that. So, I mean, it's just, that was one reason I wanted to talk to him, just get his feel about with the defense and the goalkeepers and everything. But yeah, he's been a stalwart there as a defender. And also he was just really nice. I'll put that out there. He was like genuinely really nice.
You had asked him a little bit at the end there, and I didn't post that, but you
Yeah,
asked him about the camp that him, Leon, and
Oliver.
have done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So he and his German teammates, they've been doing these camps. And they have more coming up, I believe, but they have this soccer camp for kids trained like a pro. And I've seen some clips on
Mhm.
Instagram and everything. And uh they just seem to really be having a lot of fun with the kids. And I mean, Kai's a dad. He's got two
He
young
said
sons, and he like he's, he just looks like he's enjoying it so much with
I
them.
think,
All of them do.
yeah, they do, and it's given back to good cause and all that.
Yeah, so when I asked Kai about it, he had like a big smile and he was just saying, yeah, he really liked it. And so I wish I would have asked him more about it, but um, I didn't want to take up too much of his time, but I thought yeah, it was cool, and I think that's cool that they're doing that for the
Yeah,
kids.
and at the same time, our friend Jose Nunez was interviewing Jose Martinez, so check that interview out. He has that posted now on Substack, and I think he posted it on his Twitter feed as well. So yeah, definitely check that one out. That's a really interesting interview as well.
Yeah, I think it's great that we get to hear a viewpoint of honestly, like it's surprising how little we had heard from Jose Martinez
Yeah.
really with media because he doesn't really speak much English
Yeah.
and there weren't reporters really covering that. And I appreciate the work Jose Nunez is doing because,
Absolutely.
and it's one thing you see, as I told Jose this, I said, it's one thing, if you use Google Translate or something with interviews that Brujo has done with people in his own language, but actually having someone like Jose Nunez, we have the Jose's here, so it's confusing, but you know, translating it and having it, that's way more accurate, like someone who actually speaks it and is like
Right.
translating and actually can do a good job of that. I appreciate that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's filling a much needed void, and I've told Jose this before. I mean, like he's doing the Lord's work, doing
Yeah.
that because he's bringing coverage to the fans that they wouldn't ever get. So
Yeah, and I
credit
joked,
to him.
yeah, I joked in my article that as much as I would have liked to have talked to Kai in German, I'm not as
No,
confident in my German skills. Plus, Kai's really good at speaking English, so he'd probably laugh and say, "We can talk in English," probably. I mean, I don't know if he'd laugh at me, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, like I'm definitely not as good in German as he is in English.
so let's dive into. We were at a wedding, as we said last episode. We wouldn't be
So
at
we
the
were
game.
not in person for the Nashville game,
No,
unfortunately.
but we did watch at the game. We were on the presser.
Yeah, we had my phone like propped up during the reception. We pretty much saw the entire thing.
Yeah. So I mean, here's what we'll say about the game. I mean, you go
And I
from
rewatched it today too.
yeah, you
Yeah.
go from a 5-1 win to a 3-0 win. Daniel Gazdag has a great game, hat
Hmm.
trick. He
And none were penalties.
none were penalties. He's only got 4 penalties on the year. He's got 14 goals. He's ready to creeping up
Hmm.
there in the Golden Boot race.
Yeah, he
I
went like
think it's
third, I think.
I think for all the flock he gets,
Oh, the flock. The
flack.
flack.
Got Leon on the brain now. Um, for all the flack he gets, you know, again, there was a great opportunity where he takes the ball, literally takes the ball, puts him back in the net 3 times, and carries the
Yeah.
Union. We've seen this in the past. In MLS, today had, what is it now? It's his fourth hat trick all time for the Union. Um, he won player of the match day, and they said he was like the first player in Union history, but it was weirded really weird. It was worded really weird in like, is he the first player to win player of the match day in 3 consecutive seasons as well? Like, because it was like the first in MLS and in Union history.
Hmm.
Like, so is he, or is this in the last 3 years? I don't know. It was just weird the way it was worded. So
Yeah.
if anybody does know the answer to that, I'd love to hear it. Um, I'm sure I could go back through the archives. But
Anyway.
it was a really good night. I mean, you get on the board early.
Yeah, he chipped Joe Willis there.
Chip Joe Willis, then Mikel again had a really nice heads up little tap right through the
Yeah.
line there that Daniel stayed on sides and beat him. And then You had that pass where the last goal we were like, "What are you doing? What do you do? Do not pull an Andrew Wagner and dribble that ball out of bounds." And he kind of cuts it back in, and beats Willis.
The turf monster got Coleman.
Yeah.
And then
that was
so I loved I think it was Jose added Mark Mello on that the MVP right now.
Mark Mello,
the groundskeeper. So yeah, but that was great. Yeah, because I was like, get that ball in the goal. But no, that was great seeing Joe Willis like just getting beat there.
And again, to Andre's credit, like Jim said, he's a player. I mean, there's a time in that game where he makes two amazing saves.
And also the crossbar had a really nice save at the one point.
Yes, that realistically, that game could have been 2-1.
Yeah.
And we could all be sweating it out that last 15, 20 minutes. And no, I mean, Union, after that one nice save, come right back down, put it back in net, 3-0, and you're kind of just cruising it then.
Yeah.
I thought, overall, Union did pretty well defensively. They limited Hani Mukhtar. I was really
yes.
They really limited
Bizo. Let's talk about Bizo.
Okay, so
okay.
Hold on. We have a question.
Oh, yes.
We have a question. Todd wants to know.
Oh gosh.
Can Bizo consistently play like his performance on Saturday? I'm paraphrasing there.
Mm-hmm.
But
we're gonna need him to.
We are gonna need him to. However, Jim, now I want to add a context to this, and you guys listen. We're gonna have some fun with this. Jim has said the last two but I think it's like last 2, 3 out of 4 or whatever, that he is an elite defender. How do you feel about Bizo being an elite defender?
I got a question for you, Kyle. Do you think that Bizo is a top 5 back?
I mean, Jim's calling him an elite defender.
Okay.
I mean, could I have called it
before? If he played like that all the time?
If he played like that all the time, could I have called it before Jim? I saw it before Jim now.
Okay. But no, listen.
If
Bizo, if Bizo can play like that all the time, like that was phenomenal. He shut down Schaffelberg.
He was
totally shut down.
He was totally shut down. Anyway.
Factor. But no, yeah, like Bizo was great though. Like he did not like go and get cooked time after time. He really that's the problem. He's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, It's like you get like 10 out of 10 Bizo, and then you get like Bizo getting cooked, like bad. But he stepped up where he needed to be, and gosh, if he could play like that more consistently, my goodness, that was what we need to see. He was really good. Jose Martinez was really good.
I thought Martinez was good.
He was all over Hani.
I thought the spine was great on the night.
I
thought the defense was good. It's good. But getting back to Bizo, do I expect him to play like that all the time? No.
He's just been inconsistent.
Yeah, and I don't expect that to change, Mm-hmm. But no, I swear Jim said something else. But anyway, blunder of the week, Kyle. naming a player that didn't even play. Wow. Anyway.
Yeah.
So getting back to that, but no, and then Nick Nurse also had a question, like, Chris Pensa was the ref last night.
Yeah.
Do you feel that, those cards were warranted?
Well, I really think that first of all, the card about so Uwa's card, it was stimulation. It was a flop. Damien's was really unfortunate, like 2 minutes into the game, and I don't know about that one.
I thought it was
probably
little,
but it was that
foul.
But foul, yeah. But
Elliott's, I definitely think was a yellow. I mean, he took that was not good.
And of course now, Lowe is going to have to miss the next regular season game. So that stinks. And of course, then Jack Elliott comes in and he's like just into the game and he gets a yellow. And it's like, oh, great. Because he went on for, of course, Damien, who's on a yellow. And then Jack comes in and gets a yellow. Now, I think that puts him on accumulation warning because he had been downgraded on that. And then, and now he's back to, I think, having one. So it's like, careful guys there. But, anyway, so yeah. I would say Jack's definitely, and Mikkel's definitely. Damien,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I didn't think the refereeing was terrible.
No, I didn't think Penson was too bad on that. He's been worse,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
hey, at the end of the night, you can get 3 points,
Yes.
and everybody's happy. And like I tweeted out, 2 hat tricks in a row, clean sheets, and 6 points in a week. We go from the cellar to now.
Yeah.
Had
10th place now.
Had Atlanta not kick Charlie Brown and come back. If anybody knows that they got Atlanta posted like the good grief,
Mm-hmm.
Um,
in front of Columbus with their Charlie Brown shirts.
Anyway, Union now
10th though.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's still really close with all that. So hopefully they can carry this momentum into Leagues Cup and keep that going, and come out of whatever happens with Leagues Cup, pick up where they left off. I think it shows how much having Andre Blake back is huge for the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think just
it really does.
He just made some incredible saves that Rick or Zemla are not making. That one off Bunbury's shot, where, oh my gosh, like that was highlighted with the goals of the week, really, and just the way he laid out there and tipped it out. I mean, yeah, 100%. Our backups are not making that.
No.
And then there's that one other where he got tips of fingers on it and got that out, and just a lot of that, and just it's even simple ones that like he jumps up and gets, but like he just has such a good awareness, and there's a reason why he's a 3-time MLS goalkeeper of the year.
Oh yes, for sure. And also blunder of the week. I tried to clip the pregame press conference and I sent you guys the wrong press conference, so we have some blunders this week. Anyway,
Kyle.
But hey, you can I take my blunders happily at the fact that the Union got 6 points.
You're very okay with the self-deprecation.
I am. I don't really care. It's all fun. I'm having fun. So, and I hope you guys are having fun. Want to hear you guys. What did you think of the week? Was it a good week? I mean, honestly, yeah, we can all be happy 6 points, but hey, the Union got work to do.
Yes,
they got work to do.
It's progress. It's a step in the right direction. And I thought, Sam Deneron did a really good job against Nashville too. Like, so that was
Union memes where they're like, is this heaven? No, but the Union won 2 games in a row. It's like,
that was a good one.
Yeah. So shout out to them. Anyway, Leagues Cup is upon us. So friend of the show, Mike Barrera, who, by the way, I gotta give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Saturday. Mike, Mike had told me, he showed me what he's doing, and him and I talked for a little bit. I mean, hey, Sons of Ben said protest any way you want. Mike said it. So whether you agree, disagree, wrote an article, spoke to one of the owners, whether you agree or disagree, I mean, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't necessarily agree with everything, but I do. But I have to say this, like, props to Mike for doing that he has, the guts to just sit there and put himself out there.
I mean, he doesn't. I mean,
I'm not saying he's wrong on things either.
I'm not saying he's wrong either, but
I appreciate that he's not afraid to just put himself out there and say, hey, this is how I feel, because too many people want to just be keyboard warriors and hide behind that and be, faceless people with, not the real name and not the real pictures and stuff on Twitter and everything. And
and at the end of the day, like I said, we're not going to talk about the Sons of Ben thing right now, but I just want to give him a shout. But he asked, should the Union, basically try to win Leagues Cup, or should they try to get the rest? And Jim talked about that a little bit. Like, yeah, this is going to be valuable train time, but if we get knocked out, you kind of go into a preseason mode.
Yeah, and they don't really want to be in that mode.
No,
they have momentum right now.
If they, like I said, they got momentum right now. Let's see how far they can get. I mean, look at LAFC last year. They had a nice run after kind of they were still in the top half of the West last year, but they had a good run and they picked up steam and carried that into making another finals run. I personally would love to see the Union go for it if they can, because again, I'd rather play in the Champions Cup again next year. I mean,
I think that's a bigger deal, and
that's a bigger deal.
Yeah, and like I said, this will help hopefully keep their momentum rolling and they can keep working on things. And
I mean,
if they were sitting for all that time, just in preseason mode, that's not the same.
I mean, because they got come off, they got Columbus, then they got DC, and then it's murder's row pretty much. I think your easiest game after DC is Atlanta.
Most of the games that they have when they return to league
It's
play
everybody.
is the people above them in the table for the most part. Like it's almost all of them.
Twice. You got to play Miami's, Cincinnati on decision day. You got both New York squads. You got Orlando in Orlando, which is never easy. So yeah, Miami and Miami. So yeah, it's you need all the momentum you can get right now. So I think the Union need to go for it. And if they're a little fatigued, so what? I mean, you got to try to win this cup because the MLS Cup is not guaranteed, especially the way this season's going.
Yeah.
I don't see the Union making that run, but we could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, you never know. I mean,
yeah,
if you get into the playoffs, there's a chance. You
there
just never know.
Chance, but at the same time, why not make a run now? And apparently, I think even the Union's like bracket would be kind of crazy too. So
yeah,
then I mean, and they got Charlotte and Cruz Azul. I mean, two teams that have been great. Jimmy brought that up as well. Like when they made the brackets, it was kind of in their favor. Now they do have 2 home games, but still, these are going to be 2 tough competitions. I'd like to see the Union go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, we've said this before already. We're going to be there. We opted in, and I know some people have chosen not to,
and that's your choice.
That's your choice. That's fine.
That's cool. I'm cool with that. I get the whole US
I get it.
But for us,
we want to be there and support the players and cover it and everything. And
and speaking of covering, we will be there on Friday as well.
Yes,
for the open practice
for the summer bash.
Yeah. So if you see us, we'll be there. You'll probably be covering the presser and doing some stuff. I'll be out in the stadium walking around. So if you see us, say hi.
But and yeah, I'm excited because I had to miss being in person this past Saturday. I'm honestly excited to go, and I'll be in the River End again. My best friend is coming with me to her first Union game, so I'm excited for that, and hopefully the crowd will still be decent. And then we'll be going to the game against Cruz Azul. I'm a little worried that there's going to be Cruz Azul fans in the River End and all this nonsense, or that there's going to be a lot of them, but whatever. You know what? I know friends of mine that are in 136 and anyway, so
yeah. So anyway, that's all the time we have today for the One Team We Agree On.
Make sure you subscribe and give us a like and leave us comments because we love hearing from you. And definitely look for us at these upcoming events. Give us a chat because we love hearing from you guys in person too. It's always nice, come up and talk to us.
We'll be hanging out at Union Yards afterwards. So until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
We'll see you at the game.